Doing pretty good. So, everyone, this is kind of a very spur of the moment thing. YouTube actually contacted us and asked us to test the vertical live stream feature that is new. Shout out to Carol at YouTube. And while I was here getting a session in with my own personal trainer, Frankie, thought hey, this would be a good idea to show all you guys all the knowledge that Frankie has. Frankie is one of the top trainers in LA. He's worked under some of the top chiropractors and physical therapists. He has a lot of knowledge, and he's really good with what we're passionate about here at Senior Zone, which is healthy aging, having that mobility, strength, and flexibility as you get older. So, Frankie, man, you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah, like Cliff said, I've worked alongside some of the best chiros and physical therapists in the city. And I'm very, very passionate about health and longevity, whether it's a 20-year-old, whether it's a 40-year-old, 60-year-old. I think the human body is all the same. And I think the fundamentals and the proper stretching and mobility applies to anybody that's young or old. And yeah, I'm just excited to share with you guys the knowledge that I have. And hopefully it helps you.
I think what's also makes you really well suited for this audience is that your whole philosophy at FlexFate is all about mobility and flexibility as well as strength. So this isn't some sort of meathead workout. What you do really works well with folks that want to maintain their physical abilities as they're getting older.
Right, right, right. I think like some of my clients have said in the past, it's a comprehensive workout. So from the start of the workout to the end, it's not just jumping into the grunt work, the heavy breathing work, right? It's establishing a primed body and a mobile body and a flexible body so that when we jump into the heavy lifting, your body is prepared and it knows what it's doing.
Absolutely. So, what you agreed to show us today is one of the biggest topics. We actually did a poll on our channel and said, what are the biggest problem areas that you have as you're getting older?
Right.
And the two answers were legs, with some emphasis on knees and back. So, we're going to start with legs. And then, if we have time, we'll get into back. If we don't have time, then we'll touch on it. Then we'll do a whole other session on back because I know that these are two really big ones,
Right.
and you have a great system for legs that starts with from the foot all the way to the knees, to the calves, knees, and up, and that everyone can benefit from. So, do you want to get started with that? I know that when we do this, we usually start with foot mobility.
Right, right, right. So, like Cliff said, if we really wanted to, we could take an hour just talking about the feet, an hour just talking about the hamstring, an hour just talking about the hips. We're gonna try to put it all together in this live for you guys. And like Cliff said, we're gonna start with the foot mobility, right? The foundation starts at the very, very bottom, which is the toes and the feet. We have 26 bones, 33 joints, and a whole lot of nerves under our feet. There's a whole ecosystem going on down there. So I really want to get started with this video down there at the feet, right? So let's go ahead and get started with that. We're gonna go ahead and just start with foot mobility. Place yourself at the bottom of your on the floor, on the mat. Find a mat. You're gonna get into this tabletop position, and all we're gonna do is, if you pay attention to my toes and the back side, we're actually just gonna spread out our toes, creating this flexion and this stretch and this deep stretch. And I know it looks like I'm not doing much, but there's a lot going on over here from the bottom of our feet and our toes and of our feet as I make my way into this stretch. And again, I'm only holding this stretch for about 30 seconds to a minute. And I know some of you guys might be like, that's way too much. I got like 10 seconds. You can start very, very small, stretch for as long as you need to, and then build your way up again into it. But we're gonna go flexion. You're gonna flatline your ankles and you're gonna go extension. Really just sit your hips back, your glutes back. Try to flatline that front of your ankle. Again, for some of you guys, this might be easy. For some of you guys, this might be a little tougher. Don't be afraid to build into it. If it's something like this, where you're like, I can't really go down, there's not enough mobility, practice your red line, stretch and stress on that red line, breathe, and reset and try again, right? So flexion with the toes, spreading them out through the floor, feeling that stretch at the bottom of our feet, then going into an extension, bringing it down, opening up.
I think that's a really good one because a lot of folks, when they think legs, they just straight start thinking about running, squatting, and you're forgetting that the foot itself is at that foundation.
Right,
And
right,
if you
right.
don't start with that, you're really missing something. I think you did. You want to show some rotations
Yeah.
there too?
So I would say just sitting on your butt, and let me actually. I got a little
Oh
hole on
man,
my. See, from using the socks too much. Excuse me, I'm a little
that's
holy.
okay.
But we're just gonna go with. You can start one leg at a time. We're just gonna go clockwise with some rotations. You go right leg, and again, just building awareness and depth with how flexible and how mobile each ankle is. Once I've done that for about 30 seconds to a minute, I might just counter it and go the opposite direction. You hear those cracks, and I'm sure on your feet you'll hear them too. And again, just building that awareness with time, starting small, just understanding how tight you are and how much this can improve your foundation from the ground up, starting from the toes to the ankle. So we got the flexion of the toes, we have the extension of the ankle, and now we have the rotation of the ankles, building that capacity, building that flexibility and that mobility to keep your ankles strong for a long, long time, no matter what age you are.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, so I just thought about this. I know that we weren't planning this, but it just came to my mind. I know that some people actually roll their foot on like a tennis ball, or use a
Yeah.
tennis ball or a ball of some sort, and then do that as well. Is that
Actually,
something that you like?
let me show you. Let me show you. I have a baseball right here, but you
Uh huh.
could really use a lacrosse ball, a hard golf ball, whatever ball that has a hard structure. There's a baseball right here. But yeah, Cliff, you're right. Even before getting down there, just rolling out and releasing those tight muscles. We carry a lot of stress either at our traps or at the bottom of our feet. And you'll feel it. Once you grab a ball or something, you'll feel where the tension is at the bottom of your feet. Most people carry it in the center, right in between the heel and the balls of your feet. I know that's where I carry it. I'm feeling it right now.
Yeah.
So something like this, great observation, but something like this could take you such a long way. Just starting your morning off or before your workout, just rolling out the whole foot from the heel to the outer foot to the inner foot to the in between the toes. Really, really great move that you can do to help optimize your body and your functionality a whole lot more.
And it's something anyone can do, and they can even do it when they're sitting, and real easy. So
Yeah,
definitely.
little life hack is I used to actually have a ball under my sink, and when I would brush my teeth, as I was brushing my teeth, I would roll out each side for about a minute. And this was at a time when I was marathon training, and it helped so much with my PT and my recovery on my knee pain and my lower back pain. So definitely a great one to add to your routine.
Very, very nice. So I know that after we do feet, you always go to the calves.
Yep.
So usually, I know that in your system, there's always stretching first, then strength, because
Right.
you have to have the flexibility before you can get into the strength, so you don't injure yourself. You want to just go over some basic calf stretch that you
Yeah.
do.
I mean, we could just pull up against the surface just like this. Any surface that you have, any high platform that you have. And we could just start off with a good runner stretch where I'm just here. And if you focus on my back muscle, this is the area that I'm targeting on when I'm stretching my calf. And I'm just trying to feel the stretch on my soleus muscle, on my calf muscle, a little bit into the back of my knee and my hamstring. And I'm just holding this stretch for as long as I can, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Your breathing is so important when you're stretching. I always tell my clients to let your breathing match your stretching. And what I mean by that is with each exhale, I try to really get deeper into my stretch. With every inhale, try to prepare for that stretch and like deepening into my stretch. So I've done that for about 30 seconds and I go on to the next one. Again, here for some people, it may look like this, right? When you feel that stretch, until you slowly can get your heel down. Now once your heel's on the ground, your foot firmly planted, now you're able to really deepen into your stretch with your breathing.
Very good. And I know that basically doing this, that just makes it so much safer when you get to the next step, which is doing the exercises for the calves. Is that correct?
Exactly. So that's a good awareness check to see where you're at with your calf. If there's anything that's tight or anything that is hurting, you can kind of see it with that initial stretch. And then you could actually take it into some mobility where which mobility is just flexibility with strength, right? So being able to drive your ankles into the ground with control. Again, just doing about 15, 20 reps, 30 seconds to a minute, enough to where it burns, and then 10 more. So for some people, it might start burning at 10 reps, go to 20. For some people, it might start burning at 20 reps, go to 30. Right? As soon as you feel that ache and that calf doing what it needs to do, and you're like, yep, I'm challenged, just give another 10. And again, focus on just that full range of motion, going all the way to the top, full flex at the top of the movement, good control. It doesn't take a lot of work to prep your calf, but you do have to be very, very intentional when you're doing it. So I will say that.
Yeah, and you always tell me that the key really is daily progression. That even if you're starting off and it's hard to even do 5 or 10, that's okay. But if you keep on doing them at the same time every day and
Right.
do more, right, you get better at it.
If you've never done calf raises and I make you do 30 reps, you might be sore for 4 or 5 days, and you might almost be discouraged to stop doing calf raises. If I tell you, hey, do 10 to 15, you might not even feel what they did, but you come back tomorrow and do another 10, 15, and you come back tomorrow, then you do another 10, 15. You're already 50 in by the third day, right? Whereas if you would have done 30 and then you stop for a week and you give up on it because it hurts and you can't walk,
right,
then we have a problem. So yes, small daily increments until you safely build to where you need to build to.
Yeah, those calf raises are great. A lot of people don't like you were starting from the foundation up. So the foot is very important. The calves are very, very important. Now, something that we talked about, that me and you always talk about, is that one of the most missed body parts that I think really hurt a lot of people as they age is that they don't do anything for their tibs.
Yeah, very important. Tibulas, front of your calf is the proper way to describe it. I have some pretty profound tibs. As you can kind of see, there's a muscle that goes right alongside my shin bone, which is right along here to the right side. That right there is the tib muscle. Like you said, very neglected. When was the last time you did tib raises just to do it, right?
Yeah, and I know ever since you started having me do them, I noticed a huge difference. I noticed that I could run more. I could just felt a lot stronger. So why don't we show some tib raises?
Yeah. So for some tib raises, you could find a surface. Follow me over here, Cliff. So
Sure.
Now I'm using this reverse hyper machine, but you can find yourself along the wall,
Yeah.
anywhere, just a flat surface. And all you want to do is extend your legs out, flatten your back up against to wherever you're at, and bring your toes to your knees. And after a couple short reps, you'll start to notice a little pain, a little ache on the front side of your calves. That's a very good sign. Not a bad sign. That's a good sign that we're strengthening, that we're mobilizing them, that we're getting them stronger with each rep. And for some people who have never done this, maybe their mobility is an inch off the ground. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Slowly build into it. And a really good trick, little life hack is at the end of your reps, let's say you do 10 reps, 20 reps, 30 reps, whatever you decide to do, hold it for an extensive period of time, like I'm holding it right now, for as long as you can. I like to shoot for 10 seconds to really just finalize that flex, finalize that squeeze, get a bunch of blood flow into that muscle, and make sure that it's thoroughly activated by the time you're done doing the movement.
Awesome. And hey, I know that you mentioned that for folks where even the standing calf raises and the tib raises might be a little bit challenging to begin with, they could even start by doing them seated. Do you want to show that real quick, how to do the calf raises and the tib raises seated?
For sure. Yeah, so like Cliff was saying, sometimes standing up, it might be a little too hard for you. I know this is a senior zone and we want to incorporate and make it friendly for everybody. So if you just find yourself alongside a bench or a chair, anywhere where you can take a proper seat, you notice I can just place my hands on my knees, or not even place them on my knees. Just here, I elevate my heels, and now I'm in a good seated calf position, right? Now, the way you could progress this, if you're like, oh, this is a little too easy, is you can use your own hands to apply some resistance onto your knees and really get that stretch at the end of the movement. And then once you get good at it, maybe even add some weights, right? Just get very, very comfortable and very, very familiar with this movement right here. Imagine you were going to lose this movement tomorrow. Really appreciate and go through the range of motion like you'll lose it tomorrow is a really good concept when it comes to anything physical therapy, anything rehabbing and like helping you get back into strength. treat it like it's your last day being able to do it. I feel like clients have a very different level of appreciation over the simplest, most minute things.
It's pretty much use it or lose it, right? The body is meant to move. That's something you tell me all the time.
100%.
And if you're just static sitting around, you might think that that's okay, but you're losing muscle. Can you show the tib raises from seated too? Because I know you could do that too.
So for the tib raises, for the calf raises, you could hold a 90 degree with your legs. But for the tib raises, I do want you to extend out. You don't have to be completely locked out, right? You can just kind of have it slightly opened up, knees slightly bent, right, in a comfortable position. And all I'm gonna do is gas pedal like you're driving a car, gas pedal to the ground, and then elevate and raise that knee as high as you can, the toes as high as you can towards your knee. Again, pressing that pedal down, that's gonna allow me to get a good stretch on my tibs, and then driving my toes up, creating that flexion where it needs to be so that I can properly activate and recruit these muscles right here to get them stronger. So again, a seated tib raise is your legs extended, still focusing on what you need to focus on, which is the front side right next to your shin, the tib muscle, and that's how you properly do a seated tib raise. So we did the seated calf raises and the seated tib raises, and I definitely recommend everybody watching this to do it and try it at home.
Amazing, amazing. So I know that the progression you mentioned. Now, if the calf raises standing are getting too easy for you, if you're on the other end of it, if you've been doing it for a while, you talk about assisted single leg. You want to show those real quick? The assisted single leg calf raises, just because calves are so important.
Right.
We can go back to the verse hyper, use that. But it could be anything like a kitchen counter or whatever, right?
Right. And assisted calf raises or the squats?
Calf raises.
Yeah. So with the assisted calf raises, you just
no, single leg.
Oh, single leg.
Because it's the progression, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
So as you get stronger with the double leg calf raises, right? You want to challenge yourself. Our body is designed to move unilaterally. That means one step at a time, one leg at a time. We rarely do things where no one ever walks with 2 feet at a time, right? So being able to properly get the muscles strong one at a time is not only beneficial, it's biologically how you're designed to move. So it's very, very important that we get strong with one leg at a time.
And good for balance, right?
Really good. And it's a great challenge.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just coming back from injury, if you're a little older and just movement is hard for you, this is a great movement that's going to challenge you just as much as it's going to fix you, right? So again, holding on to something to create that support for you, putting your leg behind you, and just driving that leg up. Now I'm barely at 10 and I'm already hurt.
Yeah.
So you don't need too much of these to really feel them, right? Maybe 10 reps on each side, and that's a good multivitamin for your day right there.
And I know you always make me hold the last one, so if it's getting too easy, you can always hold the last one, right?
And create that iso and create that blood flow through that leg right there and really create that tension and really hold it for as long as you can. Makes you stronger, it makes you better.
So I know after we do the feet and the calves, you always tell me that we need to stretch the quads and hamstrings before we get into the exercises that strengthen the knees. So you want to show those? I know that quad pull standing marches is kind of in your standard routine. And I'd love to show these folks here because a lot of these folks that have leg issues, I think that could benefit them a lot.
Right. So like you said, it's important before we get into any strength work, even if you're just using body weight, it's very, very important that we mobilize and we create dynamic warm-ups so that we get the proper muscles recruited, proper blood flow through the body, so you don't pull anything, so you don't spaz out on any part of your body that you will need for any specific strength exercise that you have. So like you said, a great exercise that I like to do to just get some blood flow through my quads, get a good stretch through my quads. I want you to hold on to something, whether it's the wall, whether it's a platform like this. I want you to reach back as far back as you can with your ankle and shoot, really shoot to get it back towards your glutes. And all you're doing is creating a nice quad stretch on the front side of your leg. And again, your breathing is so important. Every time I exhale, I kind of want to pull back a little bit more and see where I'm at, right? Engage your stretch from a 1 through a 10. So for me right now, I'd be at around a 7 out of 10 deep stretch. And every time I exhale, I have the ability to make that number increase a little more and a little more by how I exhale and how I focus on the stretch. So if I'm at a 7 out of 10 and I just lock in, really pull that quad back, just like that with my breathing, with my intention, I brought it up to an 8 out of 10, right? So that's a very, very good quad stretch. You want to get both sides. And again, dynamic, right? Keep it flowing.
Yeah.
So once you get good at it, just alternating between it. Once you're like, okay, I understand what's going on. And then we would jump into the second one that you were talking about, we were referring to, which is just marching high knees. So you can stay close just if you feel safe, if you feel like you're going to lose your balance, stay close to the platform and just reach up and grab your knee. Standing knee marches. And this is great for loosening up that quad and that hip flexor and those hips to help you mobilize. Feel good for what we're gonna do next, which is some strength work and some knee strengthening work and some squats and stuff, right?
Absolutely. And you always tell me to go into the standing hip cars from that move.
Right. So a hip cars is short for controlled articulate rotation, right? So when I'm doing these hip cars, it's all about going slow. I see a lot of people moving very, very fast. There's no need to, it's almost like you're hitting that slow motion button on your control, right? So I raise my knee, just like I did with the knee hug, raise my knee, kick my leg out, go around the world. And you'll feel a nice, you'll feel some work right here on your hip. You'll feel a nice stretch. You only need a couple, but you need to keep it slow and controlled. You see, I'm going up as high as I can, opening up as far as I can, rotating back, almost imagining a bench right next to me as I'm working my way through. And I'll go ahead and show that side, and I'll go ahead and show a little bit of this side just so you can see what I'm doing.
Amazing.
And that's a great move no matter what age you are, whether you're 24 or 64. That's something you can benefit from.
All right. So why don't we move into the strengthening section, because so much so much is riding on your leg strength as you age in terms of how you feel. And I know that we usually do the wall sits. Can you show the wall sits?
Yeah. So if you follow me over here, come over here. So the wall sit is a great move for someone just getting back into the gym, recovering from injury. Just be able to hold themselves in this isometric position where I'm creating the proper blood flow through my legs and my quads to get the right muscle strong. Yet at the same time, there's not a lot of load, there's not a lot of range of motion, there's not a lot of mobility and functionality that requires for you to properly do this move. The only thing you're really gonna have to challenge yourself is holding yourself up. But like I said, whether you're young or old, I believe anybody, if you really want to make progress with your body, has the mental willpower to hold themselves up for about 20, 30, maybe 40 seconds. And if you're at the 20-second mark, make it your goal to get to 30 seconds. If you're at the 30-second mark, make it your goal to get to 40 seconds. Until you properly build yourself up to a minute where you're strong. That minute is a good gauge and a good guide to see it's strong enough to move on to the next thing, which the next thing would be an assisted squat, which I want to show you guys next. But again, let's just clear the bases on this. Again, I want to stand tall. I want to find a wall. I want to go as low as I can into a proper 90-degree squat, right? As low as you possibly can. Now you're just holding on for dear life, engaging your core, pressing your core back against the wall, holding yourself up. And even just as I'm showing you guys and instructing this, I'm getting a little tired just holding myself up, and I feel the blood flow going up. So it's a great first move if you want to get back into squats, okay? Just holding up against the wall sit, against the wall, and doing some wall sits. It's a great one.
Amazing.
That actually transitions us to the next thing, which is assisted squats, right?
Yeah.
So I want to show you that right here, Cliff. All you're doing, I have access to a gym and a bar right now, but you just really need access to a chair and something to hold on to, right? So what you're doing is sitting down. I have my stabilizer here and my support here to help me get up. I hold on to my support system and I just get up. Now the trick here is if your legs are weak or if you're just starting off, you're very dominant and very prone to want to hold on. That's fine. Hold on for as long as you need to, but understand that as you get better, you want to use this support system less and less until you're able to do this movement without the support system at all. Okay?
Amazing. Do you want to do the one that you sometimes do with the banded knee extensions that you
Yeah, sure.
mentioned?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
know that's another really good one for folks that have issues with their knees.
So if you check this out, I have this band attached to this bar right here, to this cable machine. Let me show you guys how I did that. Got a regular band about this long, right? You find a post. I could find this post. I could find this post. I can find any post around my house or gym, wherever you're at. And you just tie a knot over the band. Can you see it right there? Can you see what I'm
Yeah.
doing? I just put the
I'll
band
zoom in.
under. Boom. I got this good little knot. I got this band attached. And all I'm doing is putting it right behind my knee. Now it's kind of hard for you guys to see because I'm trapped in this little corner. But all I'm really doing is attaching the band right behind my kneecap and extending out and straining it, going from flexion to extension, flexion to extension, flexion to extension.
Amazing.
And this is a little more challenging than you think. And what you're thinking about is those tendons in front of your kneecap as I come back and I flex and I extend out. Right? And that's a really, really good move for your knees, to strengthen your knees without a lot of, you don't need a lot of talent, a lot of skill to do that. It's just an extension with the band support to apply resistance.
Amazing. So should I know that we usually do the single leg balance after that,
Yeah.
and maybe you could maybe we could go into that.
Yeah.
First assisted.
Yeah. So should we do the air squats, or do you want to do the balance?
Oh yeah, you could show the air squats too
Okay.
for the progression from the chair squats basically.
Yeah. So like he was saying, we have the progression one. Well, base one is just support as I help myself up. Right. Step two, progression two would be unassisted squat on the chair, nice and controlled. I properly sit. As I sit back, I keep my chest tall, I keep my spine long, and I practice exhaling. Once you've done that for a couple of weeks, you're gonna notice yourself making a stack load of progress, and that's when you challenge yourself to just step in front and have no support as you go back into your squat. And I hope everybody that's watching this, I hope we can get to a point where we're making progress and go from support to no support to completely no bench, just being able to go up and down. That'd be a huge goal and a huge win for Senior Zone.
Amazing, amazing. So should we go into the single leg balance, and then that'll kind of finish up with the legs?
Yeah. So the single leg balance is the last guide and the last test that, as a trainer myself, I like to put my clients on, because it's a neurological thing as much as it is a physical thing, right? You're challenging your body and your proprioceptive nerves, which is your ability to hang in space, like I'm in you right now, without falling over or crashing over. So the proprioceptive nerve is basically the nerve that tells your body, hey, we're on one leg, keep yourself up, right? And to simplify it in shorter terms. So this right here is a good example of a single leg balance right here as I'm holding myself up. And a good little guide marker is 10 seconds. Can you do this for 10 seconds?
And if that's hard, they could even hold on to something, right? Like as a kind of a easier version.
Exactly. To progress it, hold on to something to keep your balance. But the goal is eventually, remember, we're just holding for 10 seconds, not a minute, not an hour. And I just hold myself up for 10 seconds on one leg. And can I see, even just switching, I could feel myself losing some balance. So it's a great move to keep you young. This is a great life hack to keep you young, because you know that if you can hold yourself for 10 seconds, your brain, neurologically, your nervous system is at a young enough age to be strong enough to do something.
And then there's eyes closed.
And then to make it just a little bit harder, once you progress, once you've leveled up to where you need to, and you can do 10 seconds, challenge yourself to it. Close your eyes. And I don't know too much of the scientific reasoning of how this makes it that much harder, but if I had to guess,
you can feel it.
Eyes are part of your brain, and they're attached to your brain. So sometimes when you can see what you're doing, it makes it a little easier. So taking away that vision, now you're really in space. It makes it that much harder. But closing your eyes is a good way to take it up a notch with the single leg balance drills.
Amazing. So we're already at 30 minutes. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just preview a few moves for back on the ground, and then we'll cover that next time.
Stay
So
tuned for next time, but we will we'll go through a nice little overview of back mobility to keep your back young and strong. So let's go here. Come
yeah.
follow me to the mat area.
So maybe we could just show the
knee tuck.
the knee tucks, the supine twists, and then we'll do the rest next time.
So to unlock proper back mobility and get a stronger back and get a younger back, I want you guys to start off on the ground, make your way down here, nice and controlled, right? It's very, very safe to do these mobility movements from the ground rather than standing up. So first move that I want you guys to do that you get very, very comfortable with is a knee tuck or a knee hug. I just interlock my fingers, put them over my kneecap, and I pull back my knee as hard as I can. And what you see is going on here is I'm disengaging and decompressing my lower back here by bringing my knee up and stretching and strengthening this hip flexor right here at the same time. And I'll just alternate between these two. Now, I don't want to show you too much because I want you to come back to the next video.
For sure. We could just go to the twists.
And now we're going to go from knee tuck into a supine twist. So I want you guys to see this because a lot of people miss this. From my knee tuck, I just throw my knee over completely to the knees on the ground. That's step one. Step two is close your hands like this, like a closed book. I want you to take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, open up that book. Now, I'm pretty mobile, so I can go all the way. But let's just say you're here. You're not that mobile. You're warming up and you're easing into it. You're just here. Just take a deep exhale as you get to the end of your movement. Finish off your stretch and come back and repeat with the intention of every time you rep it out, you're making a little more and a little more progress. You do about 5 reps on one side, then you come back to the other side again. Grab your knee, bring it up, throw your body over. Inhale and exhale to open up.
And I know you usually tell me that, like, in terms of the strain from a 1 to 10, it's not a 10. Right. Like, it's somewhere like a 7 or an 8 or so that you want folks to feel.
Right. So when you're doing any mobility, any stretching, any flexibility, a good gauge, a good meter is 1 through 10, right? So I like to tell my clients a 7 and 8 out of 10 is a green zone for mobility and flexibility. Once you get to the 9 and 10, it's at a red zone. It might actually be more counterintuitive and more detrimental to your mobility than it actually is productive to your mobility. So yes, thank you for pointing that out. You want to stay at about a 7 or an 8 intensity level when you're doing these mobility drills. So you're pushing yourself, but you're not straining and killing yourself in a way that's not good for your health. Does that make sense?
100%. Hey, Frankie, so we're over half an hour now. I really appreciate your time. This was just kind of a fun, spur of the moment thing, but
Right.
We actually had people watching this whole time. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to get nervous. But if you're watching, yeah, subscribe to Senior Zone. We're gonna have Frankie on again to because the other than legs, back was the other most requested topic, and so we'll do an in-depth stream just on back where you go a lot deeper. And yeah, well, we'll have a lot more coming. And thanks so much. Do you have any final words of motivation?
Yeah, for those of you guys who watched, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the knowledge that I was able to give you guys. I get a lot of it being able to help people get stronger and get better and fix their health, not just aesthetically, but fundamentally and foundationally speaking. So this is what I love to do, and I hope you guys could join me on my journey of helping you guys get stronger.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions for Frankie, I see him here all the time. So leave a comment and we'll answer every single question that you might have. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Peace.